Hiya! Welcome to Records Roundup number 58. And as you can see from the subtitle of the video, this one is all about the picture discs. That doesn't mean to say that it's exclusively picture disc vinyl that I'm showing, but the vast majority of it is. And I've got 6 different picture discs to show you, 4 of which in particular I'm really excited about, as I've kind of started and then completed a little sub-collection with those, but we'll get onto those at the end. But got a couple of normal albums to show you, and a mail opening to do, which we'll do at the start, because it is this small item here that arrived this morning. This, I believe, because I wasn't sent any tracking for it, but it could only be this, it can't be anything else that I might be waiting for. This is actually from America, and it's a bootleg DVD. Now, why am I buying bootleg DVDs, I hear you ask? Especially from America. Because this contains a film, and this being Records Roundup, you know it's going to be a music related film, that has never been officially released, and it's quite notorious, and it's got kind of like a legendary mythology around it now after, well, many decades. Let's get it open and we'll have a look. This was from a website called thevideobeat.com. Only place that I saw this for sale. Did I look on eBay? I think I did have one search and I couldn't find this. But there's a reason why I wanted this in particular, and we'll get on to that. Kept hearing something rattling around in here. Okay. I got sent some... They Love Hearts? No, they're not Love Hearts. They're actually called Smarties. These American sweets, which do resemble a pack of Love Hearts, are called Smarties. Didn't know they were going to send any sweets in this. Ah, no, that's nice. It's basic, but it's come a lot better than I thought it would, to be honest. So, what we have here... It's quite a generic design sleeve. What we have here is this DVD. It's got the videobeat.com logo on it, and it says on the front CS Blues. So that stands for, and apologies anyone who might be offended by strong language, but I'm going to say it at least a couple of times just because that's the film that I'm talking about. But that stands for Cocksucker Blues, which is a documentary filmed during the Rolling Stones 1972 Exile on Main Street tour. It's got more of a description on the back. I think that's basically the same description as to what I read on the website. This was at least on page 1 of Google anyway, the only place that I saw CS Blues, Sucker Blues, for sale. It's never been officially released. It's had a few, and I do mean a few, showings at film festivals and small cinemas over the past 50 odd years, but apparently, and I don't know how accurate it is, maybe not 100% accurate because people have been able to bootleg it like this lot. Apparently festivals and the such like are only allowed to show this documentary when the director is in attendance. Does it say who the director is? I think it should say on screen who the director is anyway. I'll read out some of this description of Cocksucker Blues. It says 1976, so I think that's when the film would have originally supposed to have come out properly, but it got canned. And if I read a bit of this description, you'll see why it never got a proper release. The Rolling Stones 1972 tour on film. Woo, wild movie. Their words, not mine. Sex, drugs and rock and roll. Then it lists a few songs. Keith and Mick snort up and hit the stage. Sin and debauchery. Girl shoots up. Keith tells Mick it's best to snort coke through a rolled up dollar bill. Bobby Keys and Keith toss a TV off their hotel balcony, and a few other things as well, lists about other people who appear in this, such as Bianca Jagger, Tina Turner, Stevie Wonder, Truman Capote. Once you see it, you'll know why the Stones decided not to release it. So I was reading a book about 60 years of the Rolling Stones and about sort of tales on the road and controversies and stuff. Really good book, quite recently, and there was nearly a whole chapter just basically dedicated to maybe not the film as such, but the Exile on Main Street, or the 1972 tour where this was filmed, and the director had just left the camera line about. Other people could kind of pick it up, you know, because it was left on, and just film whatever they want. So it was like really candid, and it caught groupies and much drug taking and just general rock and roll debauchery, really. Just a quick look inside. Yeah, I mean, it's a DVD-R, you can tell, but you know, as kind of plain and understated as the sleeve and the disc itself is, you know, at least it has been printed properly and it's come in a proper case. I was half expecting this to just come in like a plastic wallet, to be honest, with maybe like a Sharpie Cocksucker Blues on the disc. So it's nice that I've actually got it in a proper case and stuff like that. I don't think, looking at it, the image has got anything to do with the film or the Stones. I think it's just a general image from Videobeat.com, who they mainly specialise, and I think there again it's all sort of bootleg stuff or stuff that isn't properly available for one reason or another. They specialise in sort of 50s and 60s, you know, kind of just old music stuff really, and sort of biker related things. In fact, the description on the bottom of the case says the #1 spot on the web for 1950s and 60s youth culture on DVD. So yeah, that describes it better than I could. But I'm so excited to see this film. It's probably something that once I've seen for the first time, it's going to be so kind of either self-indulgent or just plain that I probably won't want to see it again, or not for a long time. But can't remember the price. It wasn't massively cheap because it was from America, but it wasn't too bad either. I don't think there was much change out of about £20 after conversion from dollars, but that's not bad really. I'm happy enough with that because I did want to see this. So the Rolling Stones unreleased and very controversial film Seasucker Blues there. So let's move on to the first of 6 picture discs to show you. And this is the latest in Suede's 30th anniversary picture disc 7-inch single reissue campaign, and it's the 4th and final single from their self-titled debut album, So Young. Not really got an awful lot to say about this. It was released or re-released recently. The B-side is a track called High Rising. The next one in this series is going to be Stay Together, which is not only my favourite Suede single of all time, but it's one that never featured on an original studio album. Of course, it would have featured on compilations and stuff since. I think they carried on the series throughout at least the reissue of all the singles from Dogman Star throughout this year, but I'm waiting for official announcements about them. I've pre-ordered Stay Together like I've pre-ordered this. That's all I've got to say about it really. Happy to get that. So Young, the reissue by Suede. Moving away from picture discs for the moment, this is a very recent purchase. I say recent, it was about 10-11 days ago. It came all the way from Poland, which is another tick off my checklist, my sort of European tour of Discogs and or record shops really, where I feel like in my head I'm trying to order from every country in Europe some sort of music related item. So I think Poland has been ticked off for the first time here. This came only today, but I did open it off camera earlier on because the packaging was quite big and bulky and I didn't want to stand here struggling with it. And it's another one in my recent and ongoing Enya collection. Of course, this is her studio album, The Memory of Trees. Really happy to get this. This one's probably worked out, with the exception I think of Dark Sky Island, which I got from Yahoo Auctions Japan, so that was bound to be expensive. But I think this one has worked out after that as my next most expensive vinyl LP from the lovely lady Enya here. It is standard black vinyl. It's one of the 2018 reissues. that all came out, and now only Watermark out of all them seems to be widely available. I don't know what that's all about really. I do already own this on CD, never got a mini disc release, which always annoyed me because Watermark and Shepherd Moons got a mini disc issue. Then this was the album that came, technically it was after Shepherd Moons, but there was the reissue of her debut album in between. But this came after Shepherd Moons in, what was it, 95, 96 this was out. No mini disc release at all. And then the following album, A Day Without Rain, did come out on mini disc, so it kind of nosed up the MD chronology by not releasing this on MD. I would have definitely picked it up or attempted to if this had come out on mini disc, but it didn't, so I settled for the CD. But I've been doubling up on Enya. Good album this, it's one I've always liked, but I like Enya generally anyway. That is The Memory of Trees. Moving back on to picture discs again, with the second of the day. This one was an impulse purchase admittedly, but it was such a good price, I couldn't turn it down. It was £10 this from Vinilo in Southampton. Part of their New Year's sale, where they've been occasionally adding stuff. I'd actually purchased this with another record that I won't talk about in case I managed to pick it up elsewhere, but one that said it was in stock and it wasn't a sale item either, it was full price. But I thought I'd buy this as kind of like a bonus and, you know, just sort of get the order up really. But then a couple of days later I just got a notification about getting a refund for that, but they were still sending out this one, £10 plus however much, probably £4 or £5 in postage, for the debut album from Snap, World Power. So this picture disc reissue I think came out last year. It'll say on screen as it always does. I do like this kind of picture disc sleeve really, even though it's very basic. It's just got a couple of little stickers on it, but at least you can see instantly what the front and the back look like. So that's handy, at least for a video like this, so I don't have to keep getting stuff out. And I have got Snap's second studio album, The Madman Returns. I picked that up probably about a year or so back, when that had an anniversary reissue on, it was some sort of coloured vinyl, it was either orange or yellow I think. So this does go in my sort of Euro dance, although they're a little bit more sort of Euro hip hop I think, for the first album certainly. It's an album I'm quite familiar with because I remember my brother having this and playing it quite a lot in the early 90s on cassette, but I've never owned a copy, and when I saw that I could pick this up for a tenner, then yeah, had to have it really because I love picture discs. I like Snap, certainly well worth a tenner for World Power. One more non-picture disc, regular, boring old album to show you before we can move on to the final four, which is the ones I'm massively excited to show you really. And this one is, and you're going to get a sense of deja vu here certainly, it's another one in the Madness collection that I've ticked off. This is from Amazon and it's The Liberty of Norton Folgate. It's another in their reissue series, which you can always tell from this sort of standardised hype sticker. 2 discs. I've been seeing it around on various sites. It's pretty widely available from most places. I've been seeing it for sort of around the £30 to £35 mark, and I kept noticing on Amazon it was £26.99, apparently marked down from £30.99 on there, so a saving of just a few quid. But knowing that I'd get it with free postage, being a Prime member, I thought, yeah, I would rather support an independent record shop, or, you know, at least like a specialist music website, even one like HMV I suppose really, than Amazon particularly. But just to save myself a few quid, and knowing I'd get this pretty soon. It came the following day. I thought I'd pick up Liberty of Norton Folgate from Amazon. It is standard black vinyl, so I've only got one more Madness studio album to get now. This collection has almost completed, a lot quicker than I expected it to. It's the one that followed this, the Wee Wee CC Jobby. This one, I know people rave over this. They reckon it's one of Madness's best albums ever, if not their best. So I'm looking forward to being able to judge it for myself. I've been really enjoying Madness, really enjoying collecting them over the past couple of months. And I would say almost all the Madness LPs I've picked up have been really good prices, like almost sort of bargain territory really. This one was probably the most expensive, apart from the most recent album C'est La Vie, which I got a special edition of anyway, but this one was the most expensive out of all the rest. So to get this for a few quid under £30 works out at what, about £13.50 per disc, it being a double album. Then I think that's pretty good. I think side D on this album is all additional tracks, bonus tracks as well. So yeah, all I can say about that one now, the Liberty of Norton Folgate, the penultimate album needed for my Madness studio album collection.
From them very humble beginnings in NW5, and though we face the final curtain, one thing remains, and that's for certain: I will love you all my life, but without you in my life, though, I would give you everything for just that smile you bring, for just that song to sing. I would give you everything for just that smile you bring, for just that song to sing us now.
Right, now we can get on to, I was going to say the good stuff. There's nothing that isn't good about what I've shown you, in my humble opinion. I decided, and it was pretty much right after doing Rachel's Ghosts Beatles tag. If you want to see that video, it is in my music collecting playlist. You'll just have to scroll down a couple to get to it. Please check that out if you're interested in the Beatles and you haven't seen it yet. But I'd done Rachel's Beatles tag video, and I thought, you know what, that's put me in the mood to collect some more Beatles, but what did I want? And then I realised I like the picture discs. I've been collecting a few picture discs, certainly today obviously, because I've already showed you Suede and Snap, but I've been collecting picture discs from acts like The Who, certainly, quite recently, and I thought with these ones, I've sort of had a bit of a shuffle around in my Welsh dresser, and where I've displayed stuff, and I think I might be able to display these. I'm going to play them, obviously, they're not just ornamental, but I think I can display them inside my Welsh dresser, where they're going to look quite nice, as sort of, you know, like a visual thing, as well as being functional records. So yeah, these are the only four, to the best of my knowledge, Giles Martin Beatles picture disc reissues. None of them massively cheap, but we'll get on to the prices for each. First one was an auction win on eBay. This was the one that kind of started the collection off, and it's Sgt. Pepper. So I was a bit worried that I wouldn't be able to get hold of this initially, because this has been out now since 2017, it being the 50th anniversary reissue, of course, and none of like the normal record store websites that I go on seem to have it. HMV didn't have it, who are quite good admittedly for Beatles stuff. But then there was an auction that was ending fairly soon on eBay. The price of this, I think it was between 45 and 50, including postage, which I don't think was too bad really, as it's brand new and sealed. You know, it's not a second-hand item, this. It comes with the Hype sticker, which was quite important because I want to display these over there in a cabinet, so it'll be nice for them to, you know, look complete how they should do. Great album, obviously. I don't really need to talk about Sgt. Pepper, do I? But that was an eBay auction win, and that kind of kicked off, and then me being impatient, I was like, well, I want to get the other three that are available. And there was one, which I think I'll show you next, actually. That was the one I was worried about, even more than Pepper, really, that I wouldn't be able to pick up unless I paid a silly amount of money. But that one's Sgt. Pepper. I'm not going to play a music clip for the Beatles at the end of all this, by the way, because 9 times out of 10 when I try and play some Beatles music on a YouTube video, I just have to remove it straight away, so I'm not even going to attempt it. Right, the next one, also an eBay auction win. Now this one was sort of averaging out price-wise on eBay, and I think Discogs as well, maybe slightly cheaper on Discogs, but a lot of the sellers are international, so when you add extra postage and taxes, then it ends up being really expensive anyway. But this was averaging out, certainly on eBay, sort of buy it now listings around the £70 to £80 mark. And I'm pleased to say I didn't pay half of that for this. This one is Abbey Road. Yeah, it's kind of been put in sideways. Now, you can tell this one is almost certainly second hand, but it has got the... Actually, I always thought this hype sticker was stuck on this outer sleeve, but it's not. So I will get this outer sleeve open, actually. And I will check. See, it might actually be brand new, or is it? No, it's not. It's been open, but it's got its original... You know what? I'm going to get this out temporarily. I wasn't planning on even getting any of these out, but I might as well now, as that one is open. There we go. Just take it out of this bag here, just for a bit of a better look. It was just annoying me that it was sort of displayed sideways on, really. But yeah, side A, side B, fantastic. My favourite Beatles album as well. But I got this, another auction. There were a couple of other bidders, but just no one really was showing any interest, which surprised me given what the other sellers were asking for on eBay. But I got this for, I think it was about £38, and I think that was including postage as well. Yeah, that would have been about how much it cost when it came out brand new in... When was Abbey Road? 2019, of course it was 2019, because it was another 50th anniversary issue. Yet again, a Giles Martin remaster or remix, pre-owned, but that's absolutely fine. It's still got the hype and everything as well, which normally I don't worry too much about hype stickers, but for these, as I want to display them where, you know, they're going to look cool, then that was a little bit important to me this time around. So yeah, the hype sticker on there, on the Beatles Abbey Road, for what I think was almost a bargain price, really. Yeah, it is only a picture disc, there's no extras. Depending on the quality of the record or the mastering and everything else, sometimes picture discs don't sound as good as normal LPs. I find that to be not a consistent sort of train of thought, really. Some picture discs I've played, yeah, you can tell the vinyl is poorer quality, but other ones I've played quite recently as well have sounded great. They've sounded just as good as a normal, you know, brand new, even 180 gram vinyl disc, really. So there we are, Abbey Road 50th anniversary. So I think you know the last two that are coming. These are both from HMV. One had a tenner off, making it £30, and it's this one. I think the most recent of the picture discs. Revolver. I was going to say anniversary, but I don't know if it was a strictly anniversary edition, this. So yeah, with these albums, these 4 Beatles albums now, I have got all these 3 times. There's no other picture discs, certainly not in the modern era anyway, that are out. The White Album, of course, also got a reissue for its 50th anniversary in 2018, but, well, how are you going to do a Beatles White Album picture disc? It's going to be a plain white disc, maybe with the Beatles written on it in faint lettering. So there was no point bringing a picture disc out for that. There'll probably be people who watch this thing, oh no, I would have bought one. And yeah, if one was out, I'd buy one too, but there isn't, so I won't, because I can't. Right, so Revolver. Yeah, Revolver's a great album. All of these are great albums, you know. Pepper is legendary, Revolver is legendary. Abbey Road is a lot of people's favourite, mine included. As you can see, the nice hype on there. It's also got the HMV barcode sticker on, which I might try and get off if I can do it carefully. If I can't, it's not the end of the world. Revolver there, and then finally, of course, the other of the 4 is the Let It Be picture disc. This one, although it was from HMV, in the same order, this one didn't have one of their barcode stickers on, which is a good thing, really. So Let It Be, the final Beatles album, although technically the majority of it was recorded before Abbey Road, as we know. So look at the back there. I don't want to get all these out and then start fiddling with them really, but I was able to show the Abbey Road disc in a bit more detail, which was quite appropriate really, given that that was my favourite and the one that I was most worried about being able to pick up for a half decent price. So this was, I think, £40, so a little bit steep, but it's what Martin Harris calls the Beatles tax, isn't it? And I know what he means. It's basically, if it's a Beatles product, then its cost, brand new even, is going to be at a premium really. But Revolver, to be fair, did have £10 off in HMV's big sale, and it was good that this one, Let It Be, was still available at HMV as well. So there we go, that is my Beatles picture disc collection started and completed. Thank you all for watching Records Roundup 58, hope you enjoyed it. Lots of great stuff here. Never had as many as 6 picture discs to show you all at one time before. Don't think that'll happen again, but as I always say on this channel, never say never. I want to give special thanks to all of my wonderful subscribers and my generous, brilliant patrons. I'm gonna go now. I think I'm gonna listen to the Beatles stuff first. Obviously, I've owned those albums on more than one format for many years. I want to get them displayed, but I want to listen to them first before I do that. And then, of course, I've got lots of other good stuff with the likes of Snap, Madness, Suede to go as well, and Enya. Don't forget lovely Enya. And of course, what I think I might do later on is to settle down with a nice session of I need to word that properly. I need to settle down and watch the Rolling Stones film Cocksucker Blues. I nearly said that in a really dodgy way there. So on that bombshell, I'm going to go and do all that, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next Records Roundup and music collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!